What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back again to another episode of the Forgotten Race Review. Today, we're going to talk about a race that I didn't think really would ever exist at all, but as of Ultimate Wilderness's printing, we've got it. So today, it's all about the Vine Leshy. Before we get too far in, we've got to plug our patrons. This time, however, we're going to shake it up a little bit. Today's episode of the Forgotten Race Review was brought to you by my buddy Joe, because he gave me a video card that wasn't middle of the road in 2011, making my job as a video editor about, a billion times easier. Also, I can play new games at decent graphics, so thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. Now let's dive in. So, the Leshy is a deity of the forest in Slavic mythology. According to the folklore, he dwells in a pine tree and is treated as the lord of things like the woods, hunting, basically all the nature stuff rolled up into a god. He's portrayed as an imposing figure with horns over his head and always surrounded by packs of wolves and bears. The Leshy is masculine and humanoid in shape, but is able to assume any likeness and can change in size and height to suit whatever his needs are. In some accounts, Leshy is described even as having a wife and children. Because of his propensity to lead travelers astray and even go as far as to abduct children, Leshy is believed by some to be evil. Others view him as more of a capricious and temperamental thing, sort of like a fairy. Pathfinder's Leshy were originally grown as servants for more powerful fae and intelligent plant life, think like treants. Leshies are sentient plants who look after their unintelligent brethren and serve as nature's watchers. Several breeds of these guys exist, each being kindred to a brood of plants or fruit, things of that nature. They begin their existence as sentient through bodiless spirits of nature, think something like what you talk to when you cast Commune with Nature. These spirits normally don't have a way to manipulate the physical world, but a skilled spellcaster, aka a druid, can grow a special plant body for one of these spirits, giving them a home, giving them something with which to interact with the physical world. Leshies don't fear death as many other creatures do, because they know if they should fall, their spirits just go back to the natural world and can be called to inhabit a new body at pretty much any point in the future. As a Leshy's body dies, the magic animating it unravels in a burst of energy that infuses its surroundings and quickens the growth of any and all plants in the vicinity. Going even farther, some Leshies will voluntarily discorporate to save the lives of sick plants, knowing that their sacrifice may mean the continuation of countless otherwise helpless flora. Regardless of the altruistic nature of how the Leshy should die, leaving the body traumatizes the spirit, and the Leshy retains only faint memories of past corporeal existences. These guys don't need to return to the same body if they're bound again, and during the course of its existence, a single spirit can inhabit any of the myriad kinds of Leshies. The Leshies we care about today, though, are the Vine Leshies. The spirit that answers the call to serve in a Vine Leshy's body is always one that has keenly felt the influence of mortal beings. Compared to other Leshies, Vine Leshies have an easier time relating to non-plant creatures and a deeper sense of curiosity about the wonders of the natural world beyond the plants they're closely related to. A Vine Leshy's body is made up of, yeah, you guessed it, twisted vines and leaves and things, sometimes incorporating flowers and fruits as well. Their appearance is mostly determined by the species of vine used in their creation, but most of them have a large cluster of leaves that form a face with round eyes, a small mouth, but they all universally lack a visible nose. Of course, these guys don't have the traditional family structure, but they'll form strong friendships with those who accompany them on explorations or who assist them in protecting a natural site. Unlike your average Leshy, a Vine Leshy usually feels a strong desire to seek out the one who created them, because they see their creators, after all, as friends and allies. These guys have an unusual relationship with other Leshies because, unlike the standard Leshy, a Vine Leshy is not grown to be a servant. These guys are free-willed and individualistic. Whether or not an individual Vine Leshy views the servitude of other members of his kind as something more like slavery or like an honorable tradition of service to a powerful druid depends entirely on that Vine Leshy's opinion. But let's get down to paper, shall we? A Vine Leshy gets a +2 to its constitution and wisdom scores, but a -2 to its intelligence. These guys are hardy and insightful, but sometimes forgetful. A Vine Leshy is a plant with the Leshy subtype, however, he lacks the immunities to mind-affecting effects, paralysis, poison, polymorph, and sleep, as well as stunning effects that the plant type usually grants, and he lacks the immunity to electricity and sonic that the Leshy subtype usually grants. Vine Leshies are small creatures with a base speed of 20 feet. However, we do have dark vision up to 60 feet, as well as low light vision. Vine Leshies have Pass Without Trace as a constant spell-like ability at caster level 2nd. Think you're a ranger moving through undergrowth, not wanting to leave a trail. Yeah, that's what we're looking at here. A Vine Leshy can transform into vines with results similar to tree shape, but in this form the Leshy appears as a particularly healthy small vine. The Leshy can assume plant form or revert to its true form as a swift action. Vine Leshies can also speak with vines as if subject to a continual speak with plant spell, and when they are slain, a Vine Leshy explodes in a burst of fertile energy. All plant creatures within 30 feet of the slain Leshy regain 1d8 hit points, and vines quickly infest the area. If the terrain can support vines, the undergrowth is dense enough to make the region into difficult terrain for 24 hours, after which the plant life diminishes to the normal level. Otherwise, the plant life has no significant effect on movement and withers and dies in about an hour. Vine Leshies get a +4 racial bonus on stealth checks in the forest, and a +2 racial bonus on climb checks. So you can really tell that Paizo is trying to push this race out because it has a favored class bonus for alchemists, bards, druids, kineticists, oracles, rangers, rogues, and shaman. I think that's pretty cool, and frankly, I love seeing new races that are a little non-normal come into the fold. I know humans are super powerful, but I also, personally, just me, I'm a human every day. When I'm sitting down to the game to play something, I want to be something different than I am. The Vine Leshy is right up that alley. And I do understand taking away the immunity to stuff in the Leshy subtype, such as the immunity to polymorph effects, was necessary to push the new shifter class. However, it really bums me out that Paizo's given us a plant creature to play, but has taken away all the fun immunities that a plant creature usually gets. Of course, I imagine this is also to lower the RP cost of the build to keep it under monstrous race points. At the moment, after all, we do not have an RP count for the Vine Leshy, but again, I imagine removing the immunities to a bunch of stuff brings it somewhere to the high teens or so. Now that said, if I was to play a Vine Leshy, I would certainly consider playing a Vine Leshy shifter. One of the things that everybody's bummed out about that shifter class is that it doesn't play exactly like a druid. We won't stay size category small or even a plant forever, and the bonus to our constitution and wisdom scores just feeds what the shifter needs to do. Also, the ability to turn yourself into a plant or have Pass Without Trace as a spell-like ability, giving us druid options that we don't have on the shifter, kind of rounds it out a little bit. Yeah, it's not true spellcasting, but it still takes the shifter on that extra step on the path to being a little more akin to a druid. Also, have I mentioned how cute this thing is? So what do you guys think about the Vine Leshy? Would you play it? Would you build it? After all, Ultimate Wilderness did introduce stats to grow a Vine Leshy, maybe, build a whole army of these guys, slap a fighter level on them, throw them at the bad guys. That's an entirely different min-maxing story for another day, though. Let me know how you feel about this in the comments below. We'll keep the conversation going. Do be sure, of course, to like and subscribe for more videos, and our next episode of the Forgotten Race Review drops next Monday.